What's up, everyone? This video is going to be the first in a series of videos on items and power-ups in your gamified class. I absolutely love items and power-ups, so I'm really excited to get this started. If that's something that you're going to toy with, if you're starting a gamified unit or gamified class, and you're thinking, how do I add items and that kind of thing to your game, this is going to be a great series, so I hope you check back and see the other ones. This is going to be the first. If that sounds like something that you want to know more about, stick around. Thanks for sticking around, guys. As always, if you could like and subscribe this video, that always helps. It gets other people to see this video. It pops up on the threads on the side for other people. This video gets recommended when you guys interact with the video. So those thumbs up, the comments, the subscribing all help. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. Now into our video here. This, like I said, is the first on items for your classroom, for your gamified class. I'll have a link to a video, I think it's right up there, to my template that I use for items. So if you want to take that, check that video out. Items and power-ups are so fun in a game. I absolutely love it. They're my favorite piece to a game. And so when I sat down to gamify my class, it was for sure. It was a no-brainer that I was going to throw items and power-ups into my game. And I hope this video kind of gets you excited to sort of think through how you could add items and power-ups. General disclaimer, guys, as I always say, this is how I do it in my game. This is not like you have to do it this way or this is the only way items and power-ups work. I'm just explaining to you from my experience in this series how I use this game mechanic of items. First, I always print my items. I print them out, I cut them out. They're awesome. They're these little cards that you kind of give out. They look like some of the collectible card games that are out there, like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon. So if you've ever seen your students use that, the students are going to be familiar with this and they're going to kind of like this collection aspect. You might ask, where do you put the items? I always get a baseball card holder and they slide them into those baseball card holders, and that is always a nice piece for students so that there's this organization, and I love the tactile nature of giving a student an item, looking across and seeing them eye to eye and say, you did an awesome thing, you did an awesome side quest, you did an awesome job today, whatever the case may be, and actually physically making that connection and handing it to them is pretty powerful. So there's a huge plus to printing them out. I know it's a bit of a pain in the butt, but do it and just cut them out and give them out. They're awesome. This being the first video in the series, I thought we could talk about some of the first items I give out in the beginning of the year. So if you're doing a year-long game, or if you're doing even a unit game, some of your first items should be items that they understand. Because right now, they don't love your game. They don't know your game. They don't really care about your game yet. The first items I give out, the first one is kind of a hall pass. I used to not care if kids went back to their locker. Now they have to kind of make a choice. Do I want to go back? I themed it around my Roman nobles. I called the item room keys. And if they have a room key, it lets them go back to their locker 3 times. And I just sort of cross off these little lightning bolts I put on the bottom. If you watch that video, you'll see what I mean by that. But once they're out, then they can't go back to their locker anymore. So it's kind of this choice. But that's a great first item. Another item I give out is kind of a late homework pass. This late homework pass, I theme it around my game. I call it a scouting party. And in the flavor text of the item, flavor text, by the way, is text that doesn't really need to be there for the function. It just creates theme. The flavor text I have on that is that you can spot a clearing up ahead that it's safe. So you're kind of didn't have your work now, but you can kind of find a clearing up ahead and say that you'll do your homework by that next class that we have, and you'll be a-okay. And the thing that I want to talk about, these first two that I give out, the room keys and the scouting party, students understand them right away. So when they're getting into your game and they don't know you and they don't know your game, these can kind of excite them because they understand a late homework pass. They understand a locker pass, right? The third item I also give out in the beginning of the game is what I call a Crusader, and it doubles the first 300 XP on a quest, up to the first 300 XP on a quest. And I do this intentionally. This is gamey. This is things that they don't understand or care about yet, but students will start to understand. In fact, the other day, I handed out their first items where they could choose one of these three. And a student chose, I think, room key, because she likes that, and she wanted the ability to go back to her locker. In fact, most kids chose either the room key or they chose the scouting party, right? Because they're schooly and they understand it. But the next day, this kid came back after looking at the leaderboard and seeing that she was only like 200 or 300 points away from getting to the next level. She was like, dude, would you mind, we just started, can I trade in the room key that I took the other day and get the Crusader? Because she started to understand that the Crusader is going to help her. It doubles the first 300 XP on a quest. The next follow-up question she did was, how do I turn in a quest? Because I did one last night. So you see, this third option, this Crusader, kind of inspired them to poke around in the game. It inspired them to sort of try and see and let them play with these things. Let them play with the mechanics of a side quest. Let them play with the leaderboard and saw that they were only 200 points away. And then all of a sudden they strategized and said, I don't need a room key. I can just be organized. I can just bring my stuff to class. I don't need a room key. But you know what I need? I need the ability to gain some XP a little faster. And so they took the Crusade. These three items always form the base of every year for me. These are the first three I give out. Two schooly so that they understand it, and one that inspires action towards the game. So I hope you guys think about what are the first items you're rolling out. I would strongly suggest you make some that are schooly and theme them around your game, like I did with the room key and the scouting party. And then add one that plays with the mechanics of your actual game, that are more game related than grade or class related. And it's interesting to see kids sort of balance those and see those and be inspired by those. These are the first three items I use, so I thought they should make the first video for you guys so that you kind of understand those items I'm giving out and what they are and what they're like. And I hope that you think about adding these kind of features, and you can sort of see how kids are excited to collect these and they feel empowered by these. I am really jazzed to kind of do the rest of the videos in this series where I tell you different items and combinations I do and things like that. If you could like and subscribe this video, that always helps. If you could also post a comment down below, talk to me about these items. Tell me some of the items you start your game with, because that only helps other people that are starting this adventure of gamification. And as always, I hope you find some joy in the journey of teaching and life and living, because there is so much positive around us when we stop to see it. And when we stop to see it, it's a beautiful life. So please continue to find that joy. Please continue to come back to this channel. I am always honored to have you part of the journey. I can't believe we're over 4,000 people already. Let's keep going. Take care, guys.